Greetings and great day, beautiful people. Dr. Dominique here, president of Reese Financial Services, where I'm the chief financial coach, strategist, and consultant. And today's message is about 4 steps to be a better manager. Now, we could talk about this in the context of our finances for sure. I have other videos for you to check out about that. But it really matters in all areas of our life because we were designed to be managers. God needed a manager when He created Adam. And so, for the garden. And so He created all this stuff, and then it's like, who's going to manage this, right? And you might be thinking, well, why couldn't God manage it? I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know why He wanted a manager. But nevertheless, He created a human, not an animal, to manage. And that human had dominion over what he managed. And so we were made in that image. We were made with this access and right to rule. And when you rule, you manage. Now, most of us want to rule without managing. So, if in order to rule effectively over the domains in which we reside, to have dominion, right? And I'm a big believer in dominion. I mean, it's a real thing. My son, even at times you might be outside and there's a bee and you're like, oh no, there's a bee. Well, I tend to say, go away from here, bee. I have dominion over you. And I kid you not. I mean, I truly believe it, but I kid you not. The bee goes away. Or he might stick around, but he's no longer a pest to me, right? And so those are small ways that I practice dominion because it's my God given right to have dominion over a bee. So if you think about it, well, especially for your money, you have dominion over your money. Money is just a tool, right? It's not even real, technically. So when we do talk about management and being a better manager, it has to start here. You have to be a better manager. And then you do things that'll create an outcome for what that would look like. So now you're able to manage, or I'm sorry, you're able to measure your management. So, to be a manager is to manage, and to manage is to handle or direct with a degree of skill. So we not just out here doing whatever. Managers are strategic. They're tactical. They have intention. So I want you to start thinking about how you're showing up as a manager, not just in your financial life, but across the board. Because it's one of those disciplines that spills over into all areas of your life once you're able to master it in one area of your life. So let's think about how you become a better manager, like practically, right? So I have 4 steps for you to be a better manager. And this is not just in your financial life, it'll definitely work in your financial life. And you would want to master this, right? I'm still mastering this. And so it is an ongoing process. All of what we do is ongoing, it never stops until we die. So get ready for the journey. But the first step is to become aware that you are a manager. Your primary role is to manage, right? So when you think about how you show up every day, I want you to think about the things that you're already managing on the low and you're not even peeping game about it. You're managing your attitude, right? You're in the car driving in the morning, getting to where you're going in rush hour in the afternoons. Manage your attitude. Manage how you respond to people. Remember weeks ago, I mean, I'm still doing it, it doesn't stop. I'm managing my words. I mean, you've got to really break this thing down to micro levels of all the things that you manage. You manage your time. How are you managing your time today? Are you sticking to the calendar? Are you doing what you said you would do? Manage your to do list. Stop putting too much on the list. Then you're overwhelmed and you don't get to it all. Manage your money today, right? Be aware that your primary role is to manage. Those of us who are parents, we manage the little people, right? And then we have to manage what the little people are doing, what the little people are watching, what the little people are eating. Manage your food. That directly impacts your health. Health is wealth. Come on now. Manage today. I want you to be super aware that your primary role today is to be a better manager of all the things within your domain because you have dominion over all the things in this earth. But if you don't believe it, then you won't be a better manager. Remember, be, do, have? You have to believe it before you can even do it. So it has to start here. So be a better manager. Be aware that you are a manager and tap in to all the things you're managing today. Second step is to then identify one area. So, in thinking of all the things that you're managing, identify one area that you're like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this area just for the day. I'm gonna put all my energy into focusing on this one area that I want to create better management around. So identify that one area. Step three, determine how you want that area to shift. And you can use the start, stop, change, continue framework to do that, right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the other video about start, stop, change, and continue. But when you think about this one area that you want to manage, what do you want to do with it? Is it something that you want to start something new? Is it something that you want to stop doing for this area? Is there something to change about this area? If so, what is it? Or is there something to continue with this area so that you can blow it out the park or take it to the next level? How do you want this area that you're managing to shift? Use the start, stop, change, continue framework to help you decide what this area should look like after some transformation has occurred. Then, lastly, step four, work on that one area. And how do you do that? I want you to set micro goals. So, go back to the micro goals video. As you think about how you want it to change, how you want it to look, think about what it's going to take to get there. But don't overwhelm yourself by the outcome. Instead, focus on the little things that you can do that over time lead you to the outcome because you've already accomplished those little things, right? So I'll give you an example. My office has things in it that I don't want here anymore. I haven't touched them in years. They're just sitting there, mostly papers and like old stuff. Manage your words, Dominique. Old stuff, pens, highlighters, markers, easels, just stuff. And you always say, well, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to use it or I might need it. I haven't touched this stuff in a while. But every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that right now. So the first thing I did was I made it up in my mind that I was going to get to it. I chose the area. Okay, I'm going to get to that bag of stuff. The second thing that I did was I took it out of the office. So that was like a micro goal for me. I had to shift the physical space of this thing so that I could get at it. right? So I moved it out of the office. First thing I did, I looked in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? And I just took one of the bags out and focused on that one bag. And it had all pens and markers and highlighters and all that. Kid you not, it sat there for a day. And then I got to it and I opened the bag and I started opening the highlighters and seeing what worked, what didn't work. And guess what we were left with? Voila! I now have markers and pens that work that I can use. Not markers and pens that's sitting in a bag in my office that's just been sitting there. So, simple example, but I used this framework. I identified the area. I understood that I didn't want to keep this stuff if it wasn't working. And I just kind of got at it a little bit at a time. Now I still have the rest of the bag to get through. But guess what? Those markers and pens and all of that are no longer in that bag. I've made progress. And that's how this works. That's how we become a better manager. Because that bag eventually will not come back in this office. And now I have more space in here to do what this space is intended for me to do with, right? And that's how it works in all areas of our life. So I want you to focus on being a better manager today. Choose something super small and frivolous so that you can get the win, and the win is going to motivate you to be like, all right, I did that. I can do this. What else can I tackle? What else needs to be better managed that I can totally make happen? Use the framework, use these 4 steps, and see how you're becoming a better manager, even if it's with the things you can't see. Maybe it's your attitude today. Maybe you're going to manage your attitude today, or maybe you'll manage your gratitude today. Whatever it is, become aware that you are a manager and it is your role to manage well. Use these 4 steps to support you, and I pray that you have a productive, prosperous, well managed day. Let me know what it is that you're going to focus on managing today, and let's go get it. All right, Dr. Dominique, peace.